Welcome to MI Magazine Presents Soul, a weekly entertainment show on fashion, arts and culture, mental health, relationships, travel, and food. Our weekly co-hosts are Carla Hill, Dr. Delvina Thomas, and Chef Irie. Now introducing our host, Miss Nikki Jellin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to MIA Magazine Presents So I'm your host. I am Nikki G. Nikki Says YOLO, and we are here every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. So during the week, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I stumbled upon one of my IG friends. Her name is Cheyenne, and there was talk about Black Restaurant Week. I had no idea that even existed, but apparently Black Restaurant teamed up with a few restaurants within Florida. And as you can see here, they have locations with participating restaurants in Cocoa Beach, Jacksonville, Orlando Metro, South Florida, Tallahassee, and Titusville. So if you look at South Florida, there is a whole bunch of Black-owned restaurants within Dade and Broward County. So Black Restaurant Week, it ends on November 21st, and they partnered up with Pepsi. So apparently if you dine at one of these restaurants and you take a picture of your receipt and you upload it, then there's a donation that goes on to a few organizations that have teamed up with Pepsi. So I was looking at the list and I had no idea that these are all Black owned. So for example, there's Allie's Roti Shop, which I know they're Black owned. It's a Trinidadian Trini place. They have a lot of roti and chana and doubles and all of that. Then there's also Creole Garden. There's Honey and Himited. I had no idea that was Black owned. Of course, the Lickin' is really popular. Shuckin' and Jivin', that's Ernisha's restaurant. So just go on their page. Go to Black Restaurants Week on Instagram, also their website as well, and support. Upload your restaurant. And then it's a great initiative. It's great to support a Black community. Check out the list. And I wanted to bring that up to you guys. Now, this show is brought to you by one of our wonderful sponsors, the AARP. And it's also the Miami Book Fair season as well. So I'll be speaking to one of our featured guests. She is Jill Louise Busby. And also our another featured guest, she's the founder of Nefertiti Secrets. Her name is Conchita, so you don't want to miss it. I'll be speaking to both of them in a few. Now let's go ahead and get the show started. So now on to my first co-host. She is our board certified psychiatrist and also the founder of the Brain Love podcast. So Dr. Delvina, what's going on tonight?
Hey, Nikki. Hey. Happy hump day. Hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Okay, perfect. So sorry. Are you ready to take the couch?
For you, yes. For you all the time.
Awesome. So I have a little video I wanted to introduce. It's a video that came from one of my physicians. He's a Black physician, of course. And it's a video about water. And I call this The Truth About Water. Now, I always tell people, be sure that you're drinking 64 ounces or more of water. But I went to see my doctor. His specialty is GI, gastroenterology. And he really blew my mind with the information that he shared with me. So I wanted to share this video with all the viewers and Nikki. So we're going to watch the video and then that'll be the end of my segment tonight because I don't want to take too much time. We have such special guests in here tonight.
Seriously, the people need to hear this.
Okay.
Tell me about water again. You said I'm drinking too much water.
Yeah. Mankind evolved with water. We've been drinking water. Every animal in nature drinks water. Our body has sensors that tell us when we're hungry, when we must urinate, when we have to poop, and also when we have to drink. These sensors are there to tell us what we need. However, since the water industry has found a way to put water in a bottle and make money off it, they've come up with a narrative that our sole problem and health issue is a lack of water. But yet in countries where water is rare and difficult to find, most tropical countries, sub-Saharan Africa, and most hot places in the world where people have no air conditioning, No cars. They walk everywhere. They work their fields. You don't see anybody walking around with water bottles. Why? They can't afford it. Some places people have to walk miles to go get potable water. So no one has the luxury of drinking 6 to 8 liters of water per day. The reality is your body cannot even tolerate that much water. As soon as you put it in, it must make you pee it. Your kidneys are made to preserve water and electrolytes, to control a balance within your body of electrolytes and blood pressure. Too much water, your body senses that and makes you urinate it. So you're really just running water through your system. It's not doing you much good. There's never been any research that shows drinking all this water is going to make you live longer, stay younger, be less toxic, has less wrinkles, or any of the sort.
So it's not going to do anything for my skin.
No.
And what about this pH water? Does it really help anything? Does it reduce your chance of developing cancers and all this stuff? That's a hoax.
I have no research on that, and I will not make comments on that.
That's
but
right.
if the cure for cancer was just drinking pH water, it would be great, and I would welcome it, except no one has yet proven any of that.
Now that much I know. pH water is the hoax. It's just like vitamins.
Yeah, we have vitamin water, spritz water, flavored water, pH water. Everybody's making money in the water business. It's big business.
It is.
Yes. But the evidence is very poor for it. Furthermore, there's no animal in nature that's never heard of any of these recommendations. We have large animals like the elephant, hippopotamus, the lion, the tiger. They're bigger than us and they require water too. They have kidneys too, just like we have, and they get by just fine. Your grandparents, my parents, never heard of this water nonsense. And no one has shown that they live less long because they drink less water.
How much water do you drink each day?
I drink when I'm thirsty. It depends on what I'm doing that day. If I'm exercising, I'm perspiring, I am breathing fast, I know I'm losing water. And my body tells me, Alex, it's time to drink water. The same reason I pee when I have to. My body tells me when I have to.
Okay.
When I live in an air-conditioned home, air-conditioned car, air-conditioned workspace, and I haven't broken sweat all day, I'll drink less water. On a day when I exert myself, it's the weekend and I'm running or doing anything exertional, I may require more water. But I don't sit there tallying up how many glasses of water I drank all day. My kidneys and my body will let me know when I'm thirsty.
And you're not looking at the color of your urine either, huh?
My urine is supposed to be yellow. That's the natural color of urine, not clear, not water.
Okay. All right. Myth dispelled. Thank you so much, Doc. I appreciate it.
Okay, so Dr. Delvino, we're gonna have to have like a part 2 of this conversation when you get back. Okay, so because I got a whole bunch of questions, and I believe the audience does as well. Okay, so we'll see you at the next show. And now on to my next co-host. So this is her farewell show tonight as our arts and culture reporter. So Miss Carla Hill.
Oh, my love. Listen, I want to take some time to say I am so honored to like now know you, Nikki, because I fangirled you for so long with the two Afro Chicks days and all that stuff. So what a pleasure. I don't want to call it a farewell. It's just God has blessed me with some opportunities, and that includes this one, being here with you all today. But I can't do a last show without giving you like the big bam boom. In a couple of weeks, we have Art Basel. Art Basel Miami Beach begins in just a few weeks, and the art community is packing their bags for a whirlwind of activity. And this year, Art Basel Miami Beach consists of 267 exhibitors, film screenings, panels, and public art representing 32 countries. And this schedule doesn't even include the countless independent art fairs and major exhibits by local museums. I want to shout out Diaspora Vibe Cultural Arts Incubator. I'm getting a lot of my information from the preeminent source for Black in Art Basel, and that's Sugarcane Magazine. It was started in 2006 by Melissa Hunter, and she saw the opportunity for media that focuses on the visual and performing arts from Africa and the African diaspora. She's a cultural leader and influencer and editor of Sugarcane Magazine, and it's really the architect of the annual guide to Black at Basel. Melissa's focused on ensuring that people know that Black art plays a vital role in the landscape of the most significant art platforms that happen in Miami annually. So bringing together Art Basel's physical and digital platforms is happening in a new scale way. The Art Basel edition will embrace a hybrid format because, of course, we're still living in a pandemic. Art Basel Live, the digital initiative, which first debuted at Art Basel Hong Kong, will amplify the on-site presentations in Basel, transmitting the vibrancy and excitement from the show floor to the broadest possible global audience through a digital program comprising online viewing rooms, virtual walkthroughs, and social media broadcasts. But I want to go back to focusing on Black at Basel. You know, one of the recommendations that Sugarcane Magazine gave us is the Goodman Gallery. And I urge you to look at their website. From their website, you know, they are one of the most distinguished and long-standing international contemporary art galleries. They were founded in 1966 during the era of apartheid. It offered a non-discriminatory space when museums served the agenda of the apartheid government in South Africa, and was known for politically engaged conceptual art. Today, the gallery offers a space for a dialogue and socio-political engagement while facilitating an ongoing conversation about freedom of expression. And this is a great place to see work by African artists like Kudzani Chire, Nolan Oswald Dennis, Jublani Dalmani, Manur Fatmi, and Neswe Baba. The Goodman Gallery also represents Hank Willis Thomas, and you're seeing a great piece on screen now. But I also want to alert you to not just go to Basel to see great visual art. There are great conversations that happen at Basel as well. And this one that's happening on December 2nd, happening on December 2nd, will take place with the wonderful artist based in Montreal, Manuel Mathieu, and our own Edwige Danticat. And this conversation series brings together artists with individuals who've significantly influenced their artistic space. For this edition, Montreal-based artist Manuel Mathieu meets one of his inspirations, internationally acclaimed Haitian American author Edwige Danticat. Visit sugarcanemag.com, scrolling beneath my presentation here. So sugarcanemag.com and artbasel.com for more information on visual art exhibitions and these great conversations. I am looking forward to attending Basel once again. It's been too long. But finally, I want to send a big thank you to all of the viewers of MIA Soul and my wonderful co-hosts. You know, I've been a fangirl of Nikki for so long, getting to know Dr. Delvina and my good friend, Chef Irie, who is doing big things. You know, this isn't goodbye, but I do have to take a leave from MIA Soul to take care of some new opportunities that I've been able to get in the TV space, and I'm very grateful and humble about that. I'm so grateful for the generosity of Dexter Bridgman for thinking of me to be a part of this innovative space. I mean, think of it. We've been on air for a year and change. He kept our community together during the height of a pandemic. Like, this was an idea during the pandemic to keep us together. I'm forever grateful for the opportunity to share the screen with such talented people. And I want to give a special thank you to our very kind producer, Aaliyah, for her support and positivity through it all. If I leave you all with anything, please continue to support arts and culture in South Florida. The arts is going to be a major way for us to come back after this pandemic is finally over, or we just learn to live with it, or whatever. But supporting arts and culture is going to be a way for us to come back as a community. I hope that I've been able to guide you to the great work happening in our Black community, in right here in South Florida, around the nation and around the world. And MIA Soul, that's all for now. But I will see you next time. This is not goodbye. Thank you for everything, all of the viewers and all of my colleagues at MIA Soul.
Well, Miss Carla, I just want to say that Christy, Grace Chambers, she wrote a comment and she goes, Carla, you'll be missed from the show. All the best and everything.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I want to be a guest star like Christy. I want to come back and do a little something now and again. So she's my idol in terms of, guest star.
Anytime. Just let us know anytime.
You all are the best. Blessings.
Blessings. All right. Well, we'll see you soon. And now on to my next co-host. He is a private and personal chef. He's also the host of Taste the Islands on American Public Television. Miss Chef Irene Watton.
What's going on, darling? What's going on, peoples? I'm here again. MIA Soul, baby. How are you, girl?
I'm good. I'm ready. What you got?
I'm there with you, baby. I'm there with you. Come on now.
Okay.
Yes, I'm drinking 2018 Bordeaux. Yes, that is what we have today, darling. Yes.
What is Bordeaux? Is that a Cabernet? Like, what kind of red is that?
Not as heavy as a Cab.
Okay.
Yes, but definitely out of the French region there in Bordeaux, France. Yes. So what am I talking about this week, darling? We're talking about Thanksgiving. Along the line, we hinted, but we're almost there. It's a week away, and there's some things I really want emphasize. And so for those of you who are hosting, and this usually happens for people who are hosting, Thanksgiving dinner tends to be a little stressful. So, especially if you're catering for more than 10 people. But for most people, just cooking for 4 people is stressful. So one of the things that you need to start, time management. Think of how you are going to be hosting, what you're going to be cooking, and how you are going to divvy up your time between work and shopping, prepping, and all that good stuff. Because you don't want to be caught on Thanksgiving Day with very long times in the kitchen. I've known people, that tell people to come to their house at a certain time and 2 hours later ain't not a damn food on the table. So please don't be that person that gets caught mismanaging your time. I'm not a big turkey person, but it's cool to cook. So here are some, just one of the real good things about turkey and protein, in general. A good way to get a nice moist turkey is to brine it, right? So if you have some space and you're able to brine your turkey, whether that's a sugar salt solution with aromatics and spices, get that bad boy cleaned up. Make sure, and here's big thing, make sure when you get your turkey and you clean up your turkey, please take the package out of the inside of the turkey. Yes. There are lots of people who often forget that thing needs to be removed. Yes, especially people who are newcomers to the kitchen and they want to try a thing for the first time for Thanksgiving. Take those packages of the the gizzard, the neck and stuff, take it out. Don't throw it away. So take it out of the package, rinse it off, season up and roast it, in the oven. And that could make for a great gravy for your turkey as well. So don't throw it away. Use it, to make a great gravy for your turkey. So now you're doing time management. There's a good tip now for, and when you roast your turkey, start it off high, I would say 425, for about 30 minutes. And and then lower that temperature down to about 350 or so, maybe even lower, depending on the type of oven you have. And let that thing go all, continue to cook, roast, baste as you go along. That's great. And remember now, when the temperature gets up to, almost close to being done, and you remove that turkey, the temperature of the turkey will go up several degrees, at least about 5 to 8 degrees, sometimes even a little bit higher. So you want to take it out, wrap them up, in some foil paper, and let it sit. All right, let it rest. For a good 15, 20 minutes, sometimes even 30. It will stay nice and warm inside. It will be nice and hot inside. Trust me, it will. Don't cut into your turkey as soon as you take it out of the oven. Let him
Oh.
rest. Now, here's a big thing about cooking and doing a lot of things during the holiday season. You need to pay attention to the hygiene of your kitchen. So I know a lot of us black folks and Caribbean folks, we're washing everything. We're washing every meat,
Mhm.
all this stuff. And some people seem to think that when you're running that water on your protein, especially poultry, chicken, poultry, turkey, maybe even duck too, but mostly chicken and turkey. So when you're running that water, even if it's at a gentle, stride, they think that the water is not going, it's not splashing out. And it does. It doesn't matter how careful you are, the water does splash.
Mhm.
And when you're moving, turkey from one place to the other, yes, I know a lot of us, we wiping down the sink, but you also need to, make sure that, at the close surrounding area of your sink, you're, cleaning down with your solution. That could be as simple as vinegar and water, or water with just a slight tad bit of bleach in it. Not a
Oh.
bottle full of bleach, just maybe like a teaspoon in a gallon of water. That's all you
Yeah.
need. Well, or if you have other cleaners, clean that bad boy, that space down. All right, and I would say do your turkey first, season up, and then clean up everything, and then go into it, so you don't have the problem of cross contamination.
Mhm.
Yes, so we don't want nobody getting sick. When you don't want your guests coming over getting sick. And one of the other things that I would love, for people to do this Thanksgiving, is to try something different than the traditional feast. Like I said, I'm not a big turkey person, but if you don't want to do the whole turkey, you can get creative and use parts of the turkey. Whether it's the big turkey breast or turkey breast and the leg, you can cook them separately. If you don't want to roast it, you can braise your turkey legs, keep them nice and juicy and moist. Trust me, it's really good. And I would recommend that people do try some vegan dishes this year for Thanksgiving. Be creative with the vegetables that you're doing,
Mhm.
and please do not cook your vegetables to death this year. All right, they don't take that long to cook. Green beans do not need to look like the bottom of your shoe. They should be green, not brown. Okay? I'm
Or
just
soggy.
saying. Don't cook your green beans to death. Make that mac and cheese nice and moist and juicy and ooey gooey if you must. But
Mhm.
please do not overcook your vegetables to death this year. Try something new, try a new cuisine, add elements of other cuisines to your Thanksgiving lineup this year. And last thing, give make somebody else happy outside of your home. If that means delivering a dish to someone that may be in need, people are in need the holiday season. And as I say that, my Thanksgiving project is next Tuesday. So if people who are watching tonight and they know of a single mother who is in need, DM me, contact me, send me an email, so we can put that person's name on a list and have them or somebody else come and pick it up, and we will tell you where to come and pick up the stuff for next week, Tuesday afternoon. So that's it for I and I Rastafari. So hope everybody is out there, and I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving holiday. And one last tip for people who are planning parties for the latter part of the holiday season: um, get your caterers, whatever it is. If you haven't gotten them now, you need to get them now. Not because I'm saying so you can, but staffing has been a problem ever since we are now coming out of the pandemic, and so if you are having or hiring caterers or private chefs, let us know early so we can, get staffing together, rentals if we need them, so you guys are not left in the lurch. Because one rental company I know, they're literally sold out till the end of the year already. Yeah. So
That's a good
people,
tip, Chef.
yeah.
That's a really good tip.
So
Yeah.
you need to get on that. Don't wait till last minute, especially this year. Do not wait till last minute if you're planning to have a catered event during the holidays. All right.
All right. Well, Chef, thank you so much. And again, everyone, if you know like a single mother who's in need for the Thanksgiving holiday, please DM Chef Ari. He'll definitely make sure that they're taken care of. So
Chef Iris Food and Fire Foundation, baby. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Well, we'll see you at the next show. And now again, y'all, it's the Miami Book Fair, and Jill Louise Busby is one of the featured authors at the book fair. So Jill, thank you so much for being our featured guest tonight. As I mentioned earlier, I'm loving your fro. How's your day going?
That's a really good start. Or in whatever time it is. Yeah, my day is going well, and thank you again.
Of course. Yeah, and congratulations on being featured as an author at the Miami Book Fair. So what inspired Unfollow Me, Essays on Complicity?
I love that face that you're making for it. Also, I notice I'm not holding.
I'm like curious about it.
Yeah, you're curious about it. I'm not holding a cab, by the way, and I will remember that. I have a note to send to somebody. But the book is, it's a book of essays. So nonfiction book about, it's memoir style, but it's really about like the memoir of my online persona. I know a lot of people like to pretend that we don't have those, but I definitely do, and had one specifically when I went by the name Jill is Black. So I was a person who probably would be called an influencer online, but mostly I was talking about race and power and privilege. And basically it's a book about undoing that character and becoming more myself, and more than just, isolated identities, within one person, but bringing all of those together and being whole.
So why did you feel you have to have like two personas? Like you have your authentic self, then you have your online. So how did that come about, or why did you feel the need to have that?
Yeah, I think lots of people feel the need to have that. I don't think we just have one or two. I think that we kind of have it based on where we are, where we go, what rooms we're in. And so the book is also about a lot of different rooms that we find ourselves in, and the people that we are called to be when we are in those rooms. And, they may all be part of who we are ultimately, but who we choose to bring out, when, where, and why is also important. So it's a book about who we choose to be and why, and also why we have to make that choice, especially as Black people.
Do you think it's a part of like, is it imposter syndrome? Is that like,
I mean, hey, Nikki, you tell me. I don't know. I think, there's no expertise here. I think the imposter syndrome for me was feeling like I couldn't be myself. Yeah. Being the curated version of myself came a lot easier than being my full self. So I think we're always like, oh, I'm building the character and I'm trying to live up to the character. And for me, I'm like, oh, I'm much better than this version of myself that I'm, limiting myself to being online. And instead the conversation is like, oh, we're creating these people we can never be. We are so much better than what we are creating just online, because we're full, flawed, beautiful people. So it's like, let's reverse that. Let's talk about what it looks like to aspire to be more ourselves, as opposed to these people that we've made up,
No, I think it's going to be a really good read, especially in this day and age in social media and just, okay. So you're going to be at the Miami Book Fair. Yes. So how can we get copies of the book, and when will you be at the Miami Book Fair?
Okay, so I will be there. I'm doing a couple of different events. One is for students, but my talk is going to be, I believe it's 2 p.m. So I'm not local, so you'll have to help me. But yes. Okay, so it's going to be up here at 2 p.m. And I will be there just in conversation about the book. I'll do a little bit of reading also. And then, of course, you can find the book at bloomsbury.com. You can go to any major or indie bookstore. Bookstores, especially independent ones around this time, would be amazing. But you can find me everywhere that books are sold. So.
Wow. Okay. Well, I have to get my hands on that copy, because
you do, Nikki.
I think not just me, but maybe like our audience as well. They may not be aware that they have two personas as far as their authentic self versus their online self. So I think, especially as being Black women,
Yeah.
within the Black community. So thank you very much. Yeah,
Appreciate
look forward
it.
to looking at your reading your book, and safe travels when you make it down here.
All right. Thank you, Nikki.
Keep rocking that fro, girl.
I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna see what we can do. I'm gonna hold out.
All right. Okay, Jill. Have a good night.
You too.
And now on to our next featured guest. So she's a queen and a boss babe, and she is the founder of Nefertiti's Secrets hairline product. Her name is Conchita, and thank you so much, Conchita. It's been a while since we have like seen each other. I have used your hair products. I have made videos about it. I love it, and it's so great seeing you again. And you know,
Likewise,
I love you,
Nikki. Oh my God, I love you so much. Miss you, and thank you so much for having me.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so tell us a little about your background.
Okay, so I'm the founder and CEO of Nefertiti Secrets Natural Hair Care Products. My background is in started off really in retail 10 years, like back. I'm not going to give the date because I don't want to give my age. But back in the day, I started off with Dark and Lovely. Actually, was the first company I worked with. Yes, and I started as a merchandiser. And worked my way up as an account executive. And so I learned a lot, and I like being in the field. And I was a merchandiser. Actually, I did in-store promotions, and so that was really fun. So because I love people, you know how I talk a lot. And so that was right up my alley because prior I had been working in an office for years, and I was like, okay, so my personality is too big for these walls because I have to break out. And so I started with, I actually took a pay cut to get that job and started in the industry. Can you believe that? I took a pay cut because I just wanted to do something different. And sometimes you have to do that. And it worked out. And so I pivoted into the professional. I worked with Dark and Lovely for 10 years. They were bought out by L'Oreal. Sheen, right? Acquired them. And then I start after 10 years, I left that and started my own business actually. And that was just kind of the beginning of me. Well, that was on the professional side. So I have experience on the retail side, consumer side, and the professional side. And I started distributing another brand, and that's when I started really working with formulations and, getting more into the, not so much the sales side, but just learning about formulas and products.
Right. So, okay, yeah. So I know you've worked with like a lot of like big beauty brands.
Yeah.
And so my next question is, so my next question is, tell us about the inception of Nefertiti Secrets. So I think because of your experience with working with these beauty brands and you being curious and dabbling into, I guess, the ingredients or your brand, tell us about the birth of Nefertiti Secrets. How that came up.
Okay, so what happened is, well, I've always loved Nefertiti, Queen Nefertiti, because she represents beauty and power, and I'm very much into women empowerment. I love making sure that my queens are good and they're happy and that we have the best of everything. And so as I learned a little bit more about the industry, I was like, okay, you know what, that would make a great brand. And then along the way, there were some things that happened that there's some issues with the name because someone had the name already. But it worked out because, it was like divine. God came to me and basically gave me some ideas. And I said, let me check again. This is like 3 years later. And, I checked again, the name was available. And that was the beginning of me working on developing the brand. And I had to do some research. Because you don't want to just jump into something. You need to know what you're doing, and it was just really a spiritual moment when I got the vision and the name came and all of that. And so what I did was I bought books and I, worked on the formulas based on ancient Egyptian beauty secrets.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and one of our key ingredients is moringa oil, and that oil, that's the holy grail of the line. It's actually called Moringa Oil and Natural Extract Collection. And so,
So,
I'm all, I'm like you. I love natural. I love natural ingredients. So, I had to go in and, actually Moringa oil, I don't know if you are familiar with it, but that particular oil is high in vitamin A and vitamin C. And they actually found that in King Tut's tomb, which is pretty cool. They actually discovered that when they pulled his tomb out, they had those jars sealed so well that they were able to test and find moringa in the jar. So that was one of the reasons why I included that along with aloe. So it's a line that's it's formulated to hydrate our hair, because our hair gets really dry. So it's
yeah.
really good for hydration, and so I wanted to make some formulas that will really benefit us. And so I just use a lot of natural remedies, and that's how it happened. And I learned along the way. Trust me, I had some bumps along the way. I had to start over. I had my first failure, because that's a part of the process, right? But the thing is that it's not really a failure. It's really just a lesson. It's learning, how to adapt to something that you may not be used to, or that you are not skilled 100% at. That's not if you don't have the skill set, you have to learn as you go. So that's the part of the process. Sometimes failure would come along with the journey, but I got back up and I kept going and launched my first product in 2013. So that was
So
in
was there a void? Like, why? Am I echoing on your side?
No, not on my side. Am I echoing?
No, you're fine. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, so did you feel like there was something missing in the beauty industry for textured hair women? Like, why Nefertiti Secrets? Why that brand? Was it lacking? As to why you brought this to fruition? Like, what's behind why?
Yes. So what happened is, for me, as I was formulating, well, what I had in mind is I wanted a product that would. I feel like there's products out there. Some of them are good, but they don't address, like, they address one thing. I wanted to come out with something that would be like address a lot of different issues. Like if you have dry hair, I wanted it to hydrate the hair. I wanted it to detangle it. I wanted, products that would just, because to me there was a void, and I wanted something that would actually help your hair grow and to strengthen your hair. So that's a lot, right? And so as I was formulating, I found out I was diagnosed with breast cancer while I was trying to launch the product, and walked around. I had to go through the whole thing of the whole chemo, radiation, lost all my hair because my hair was really long, and I was actually relaxed. So this was good, because actually it was good in a sense, because now I get to start over, right? I don't have any hair. I don't have to worry about the big chop. But it was pretty traumatic, because all the hair came out. I was pretty sad and depressed. But I persevered and kept going with the formulation, and I actually started using that product, and that's what started growing my hair back.
Oh,
so and that was really what made me go ahead and launch the brand. But yeah, there was definitely a need for good products, and honestly, there still is a need, because there's a lot of products that don't deliver amazing results, and people are just, not finding the products that work. So that's what we're doing.
So that was the problem, and yet you had to fix it. And then it came out Nefertiti Secrets. Okay.
Yes, that's right.
So now with your background in the beauty industry, and given it's now 2021, do you feel like there's representation for women of color compared to like a few years ago, as far as beauty brands and even corporate level representation for women of color? Like, do you see more of us in that space on a corporate level?
Actually, I do. There are a few good brands out there that are doing very well, but honestly, there's just a handful of us. And a lot of the brands are they have been sold. The black-owned brands have been sold to, to companies that are non-black. Okay.
We say the good old boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Good old
That's
boys.
right. So that's exactly what's happened. And there are a few. There are still a few that are around from back in the past. There are a few still around, but a lot of those, they're not very innovative in their formulation. So they have like old energy or old everything. So they're not progressive. They're not innovative. And but there are a few of them that are actually doing very well in that space right now. But like I said, not that many. I would say about 3 or 4. But they're on the corporate level. On the corporate level.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's still more progress that needs to be made as far as representation and women in those fields in the corporate level making decisions for us because they understand us.
Exactly. And I think since the pandemic, since the George Floyd thing, I think we're starting to move in that direction. But in terms of ownership, that's what I was speaking about, 3 or 4 major ones. But then there are a lot of black-owned hair care companies coming out every day. They're coming out with coming up with new ideas, which is great for us. I mean, that's good because, there's room for everybody to eat. And I love to see us doing well. So I don't even look at it as competition. I'm just like, they're using their creative gifts to create products, and hopefully they're, do well. But I'm making sure we have good products for us.
Yeah, and I know you're empowerment as well. So yeah, there's like space for anybody, for all of us. There's always room.
Yes.
Now, in your opinion, do you feel like hair texture discrimination still exists and is still pretty prevalent within our community as far as, the type C hair versus a type 4 hair? Like, do you think that still exists?
Oh, yes, it does. It does. And you know what? I decided I'm gonna get away from that, especially like the whole typing, because I mean it's hard to really, we have so many different textures in our hair and types. I mean, we have so many types in our hair, and you can't narrow it down to that. And that's not our identity anyway. But there is, in terms of the texturism, people tend to, oh, good hair, the whole good hair thing. I mean, all hair is good. All hair is good. All hair is good. We might not, a lot of the reason why our hair, we consider it to so-called not be good is because it'll be maybe dry and brittle, right? But we just need products that address those issues. And that's where I come in, but there is definitely, in terms of the industry, there's still the whole texturism that goes on, with regards to jobs. They have an act now. It's called the
Crown Act.
Yes, exactly. So that's helped some. That's helped a lot because I know some people in professional spaces that they were told that they can't wear, natural hairstyles.
Or their law.
Their law, exactly. So that's not great, and that's not fair. And so, because you should never be able to dictate what looks good on a woman. We look good, and our natural hair is beautiful, no matter what texture or what type it is. Our natural hair is beautiful. We need to be able to rock it and not have those restrictions, right? So I think they have passed it in like 13 states now.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot more work to be done. A lot more.
Yeah. So, I follow Nefertiti Secrets on TikTok, and I was in the comment section.
Yes.
And, and some of the viewers are asking, are your products meant for my hair? So your products are meant for all types of textured hair, whether if it's the looser curls versus the more kinkier, coarser curls. So it's for every hair texture, basically, because I saw them asking questions.
Yes, it really is. It really is. And some, speaking of TikTok, we went viral on TikTok.
I saw that.
1.8 million. So that was really awesome. Thank you. And so I was really excited about that. A lot of it, with social media, it's a hit or miss. Sometimes there's been times when I don't get hardly any views. So I just kept going. I don't worry about it. I do what I need to do and try to educate and put out good content. And so, it really worked. But then also a lot of that particular one, there was a little controversy with the whole, texture this is not this. And that's why I said, I'm not doing that anymore because it's all perception as well. And so I don't want to get into that, but yes, my products are for all different hair types and textures. And I was basically showing it on a person who said her hair was type 4C. That's how she viewed her hair, and that's how the stylist did. So, there's a lot of that conflict with that. But at the same time, if you make products that work on all different hair textures and types, it shouldn't even matter. So that's the point. It works.
Yes, it works on any hair type, texture. Okay.
Exactly.
So what obstacles have you had to face in the beauty and hair industry, especially being a woman of color?
Let's see. Wow. I would say, sometimes it's hard to be taken serious. As a Black woman, it's sometimes, in an industry this industry. Now, there's a lot to this industry. So on the retail consumer side, like if you look at beauty supplies, most of them are owned by, speaking of nationally, Korean, Arabs, and they're mostly men. Do you know what I'm saying? The beauty supplies and all that. And so I learned from my prior job, my prior experience taught me how to deal with different men, mostly that dominate the industry. And so it was challenging at first, but I've learned how to deal with them. But the main challenge I had was to be taken seriously. Is she really, can she do this? Is she really capable? Is she qualified? So that's been the challenge to people doubting you. But I've had to deal with that all my life. People doubt you in every area of your life, sometimes you just don't, you can't quit because people doubt you.
Nope.
You just have to show them. And that's what I did. I showed up. I showed up. I said, okay. And that's what happened even with me working with Dark and Lovely. They said I wasn't managerial material. They never promoted me. Not to a manager, not to a management position, right?
Yeah.
And Dark and Lovely is not even doing anything right now in terms of numbers.
No, they're not. And that's fine. That was motivation. That was motivation for you. And now look at Nefertiti Secrets. If that didn't happen, then maybe Nefertiti Secrets wouldn't even have happened. So that helped push you. That pushed you.
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes, there were a lot of people that didn't believe in me. I'll be honest with you, in the industry. And so I kept going and I had to build this brand organically, right? And then once they saw, wow, this brand, people like this brand because, my products are not that, it's not a cheap brand. It's not a low end brand. It's a luxury brand. It might not be a high end, but it's somewhere in the middle, right? And so with that industry being a low end, they were looking at me like, you're crazy for charging these prices. But you can't dictate what us women will pay for products that work, right?
Exactly.
So that was
that's royalty already by itself.
Listen, and Moringa Oil is $200 a gallon.
What? Okay, so you buy royalty. It's queen.
Yes. I'm pulling out all the stunts, okay, and giving the best for my queens.
Yes, you are. And so where can we find Nefertiti Secrets?
Okay, so you can find Nefertiti Secrets online. My website is nefertitisecrets.com. We're also in Walmart, walmart.com, amazon.com. Oh, look at that.
Golden blue.
Beautiful. And also, let's see. We expanded into New York. So we're in Chicago, New York, Atlanta. Okay, so we're expanding. You can find us in beauty supplies in those areas now. It's a gradual process, but we just got picked up by a major distributor, and they're putting our products in the beauty supplies there. We are starting to see it in Atlanta already. God is good. It's been. Oh, and we're launching a new product that's gonna launch for Black Friday coming up. So we're excited about that. So growth is here. Growth is here. You know. And I just want to encourage everybody, anybody who is in an entrepreneur, just keep pushing, you know. Don't give up. Don't give up. Pray, meditate in the morning before you talk to anyone, and let God order your steps.
Keep going.
Keep going.
What would you tell your younger self, and how old would you be?
I would tell my younger self that you should have betted on yourself earlier. You should have betted on yourself earlier. You should have believed in yourself earlier. Because it took me a minute, but I would probably be about 25.
Okay.
25.
Okay, well, it's never too late because you're doing it now. It's never
That's
too
right.
late.
Bet on yourself, okay? Take the chance. Mediocrity is not it's not a place that you want to stay, especially when God has blessed you with gifts and talents to be explored. So right, it's time to tap into them. Tap into them. I want my queen. I want all of us to, you know, anybody. And the thing is, this is taking years. This is taking a lot of years. So this didn't happen overnight. So you have to be patient.
It was a journey, but it's paying off. That's why the end result. It's all about the end result. So
amen. Amen. And I still have a long way to go. A lot of work.
Yeah. Well, you made it this far. So I mean, yeah, I can't wait to see what's coming up next. So
my goodness. I can't either. And you know what? It's all about, this journey for me is about blessing others. So I hope everybody that touches these products, they can feel the love and passion, because it's really not that much about me. It's about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Conchita, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure just like catching up with you tonight. It's been a while since we've spoken to each other.
We're overdue. We're overdue. I see your beautiful face, but I need to touch you.
Yes. So we'll talk offline. I'm gonna text you after
great.
this. I plan something. We're like, well,
sounds great. And congrats on this show. I love it. And we'll do another one soon. We'll do an update.
Yeah,
next
that sounds
year.
good. That sounds good, definitely. All right, love. So thank you so much. Congrats again. Yeah.
And thank you to Dexter Bridgman as well. He's amazing. Thank you so much. He's always supportive. And let's keep this going, because we need to be visible. And this is a platform that I really like, that we need.
When it comes to Dexter.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And you have
You're welcome. Thank you.
And y'all, if you haven't realized, there are a few shows that we have throughout the week, and I'm going to go ahead and announce them. So our MIA Media Group shows consist of these. On Mondays, it's The Business of Black Business, and that's at 1 p.m. with Jay Reynolds. Tuesday, it's My Money, Your Money at 7 o'clock p.m. with Bridget Lumpkins. Wednesday, it's MIA Magazine Presents So with myself and my co-host. Thursdays, tomorrow, is Lunch with Legacy Leaders at 12 noon lunchtime with Emery Serral. And it's Flavor of South Florida with none other, Chef Irie at 7 p.m. So don't forget to tune into our shows. The next one is tomorrow. Visit MIA Media GRP on Facebook. You can stream it live on Facebook and YouTube. So thank you so much again, and we'll see you. So we're off next week for Thanksgiving week, but we'll see you the week after. So thank you so much. Have a good Wednesday night. Bye.
Welcome to MI Magazine Presents Soul,